What's up, gamers? Today I'm making this video for anyone who wants to improve their movement in Apex Legends on controller. Whether you're a complete bot, trash can, or a sweat lord neckbeard, the advice of this video should help you start moving around the map like a complete crackhead. Right now I'm using an elite controller with 4 paddles, but most of these techniques can be done with or without them and at most sensitivities. In case you're just too sweaty for some of these tips, I've added timestamps in the comments for you to skip around to what you're looking for. I would suggest skipping to the air movement section if you feel like you already understand most of these techniques. I'm pretty confident I'll be able to provide some new insight for you there. So the first thing I want to cover is slide jumping. I won't spend too much time on this, I know a lot of people already understand this, but super quick, the fastest way to move is by sliding, then jumping out of that slide, and repeating as often as you can without hitting any dead slides. This can make all the difference if you're running away from a team like the beta that you are, or if you're the alpha males chasing them down. Either way, this is the fastest way to get around, and make sure you implement it into your gameplay if you haven't already. The next 2 tips I'm going to cover are about how to manipulate and change your momentum in the air. I know it's pretty common for controller players to get memed on for not being able to do this, but we really are just the superior gamers and objectively better humans in every single way, so here's some tips on how you can perform this. To start, we have air turning. This technique can be super useful, and once it starts feeling natural, you'll have a much better grasp of how the physics in Apex Legends works. To break it down, moving your left stick around while in the air does affect your momentum, it's just very subtle. However, if you combine this with your right stick, you can start to really do some wild shit. So, to start, set up a jump pad in the firing range, and let's say we're trying to turn to the left. Start by pushing your left stick all the way to the left, then push your right stick a little nut hair to the left. You want to be pressing your left stick all the way to the side while turning your character slowly in the same direction. If you're turning your character too fast or too slowly, you won't get the sharpness that you want, so mess around with it and get a feel for where it works. And over time, you should start nailing it more consistently. Once you feel comfortable with this technique, you can start trying to do it backwards by simply reversing the direction you point the thumbsticks. Next up, I want to talk about air strafing. This is when you're moving your character left or right in the air without turning. Like I said, the left stick can adjust your direction in the air very subtly, but it is possible to get more out of it without using the right stick. It's easiest to practice this on a jump pad, but you'll most likely be using it practically on flat ground or small hills. So, once you're in the air, move your left stick to the 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock positions. This will slow your character's forward momentum, but will also start moving you towards either direction. You'll also notice if you move the left stick farther down slowly to the 6 o'clock position or further, you can get a little more juice out of your strafe. Another good way to practice this is by slide jumping off these ramps and maybe popping a couple shots off at the dummies. To wrap up the air movement segment, I just want to say these are only some basic examples of how it works, but I think once these techniques start to feel natural, you'll have a really solid grasp of how the physics in Apex works overall, and you can start trying out new things and getting super creative with it. Next up is wall bouncing. Everyone gets their dicks hard over a good old wall bounce, but this really is a very simple mechanic and anyone can do it. You can use this wall over here to practice. You're going to want to start by just slide jumping straight at the wall. Once you're off the ground, let go of the left stick and start spamming the jump button. It's important you're not moving the left stick. The part that can trip people up is the timing of your jump. If you jump too early, you might not get the bounce you want, but if you jump too late, you won't enter the climbing animation which you need in order to wall bounce. You want to hit that G spot right in the middle. So just keep jumping at this wall straight on until you get a feel for the correct timing. Once you start to feel comfortable with that, you can start hitting the wall from different angles. The difficulty with this is that you need to be facing the wall enough to enter the climbing animation. If you hit the wall with your side, you won't start climbing, but if you face the wall head on, you'll get that animation every time. So, to do this consistently, I'll flick the right stick to quickly turn my character towards the wall, and then start spamming the A button. Alternatively, you can take your left thumb, move it over to the right stick, and turn your character to the wall that way, which gives you more control over where you're looking throughout the entire wall bounce. Either way, to consistently hit your wall bounces from every angle, it's best that you turn your character to face the wall as head on as possible before hitting it. That's all I've written for now because I'm lazy and I really just wanted to get my first guide out, but if you have any questions or whatever, leave a comment or come spam my chat on Twitch. I don't consider myself the most cracked player to have the most cracked movement, but I just thought I would try to provide some new insight on some well-known techniques and tips, and hopefully some lesser-known ones as well. Like I said, there really is a lot more potential in controller movement than people tend to think, and it's something that's currently evolving and expanding. So I'm hoping this video can help someone improve their skill set so they can keep iterating on it and maybe take controller movement to places no one thought it could go. I'm hoping to eventually make a part 2 that covers some more advanced and more specific technical movements. If you have any requests, please feel free to let me know. That is all for now, aim assist gamers.